Friday. So we have had a pretty interesting week, I would say. We had a decent-sized sell-off on Wednesday, and then yesterday we walked in, the market was lower, and then for the most part, we really gained back a lot of the losses. And that leads us to today. Now, before I get into more of the stuff of today, what I think the biggest part of this morning is going to be is that we're going to see some action for the first hour or two. And then I think what's going to happen is that we're going to really slow her off and taper down. It's the Friday before Memorial Day. And what I always like to tell anybody that I'm talking to is that a lot of the times the days surrounding three-day weekends are slow. The reason is because a lot of Wall Street goes and enjoys maybe a 3.5 or 4-day vacation. Now that might sound a little silly, but it's true. I can tell you that most of my friends on the street today are taking their afternoons off and they're going to their summer houses, and so expect some lighter volume this afternoon. Should get a little action in the morning. I would say 11-ish, 11:30. I really expect to slow down, so don't push the gas pedal too hard. Now, let's take a look at some charts. The one that I have up right now is the S&P 500. As you can see, for the past 2 days, we saw some big down moves. But one of the things that I want to show you is that where we closed yesterday. We closed at the 1650. I mean, guys, we are just really at where we were just a few days ago. That's the wild thing about this. Everybody's talking about, the sky is falling. Chicken Little, right? The sky is falling. At this point, I don't think the sky is falling. I think this is going to be a very interesting point today and as well as next week to see, can we hold? Is this just a stair step? If you take a look at this chart, we go up, we go sideways. We down a little bit, up a little bit, and then we go up to the next leg. Here, we can see that we went down only to go higher. So are we going to be able to catch, like an elevator that's falling, it catches? Are we going to be able to catch? And so I think, I was just talking to some of my peers out on the trading floor. My first look is the 1640. And I'm not talking about the 1640 intraday. I'm talking about a close. I think that's the first level of defense. I would like to see the market close above 1640. If you look at a trend line, and this is a leftover chart, I think, from Scott Redler yesterday, you're going to see the trend line really is connected to the 1640. Other people are taking a look at 1620. I think all this area, mainly, we closed at 1650. The S&P futures are right down about 5. As long as we close in this area, I think that it's actually a sign of strength. One of the reports that I read yesterday actually is that there was a lot of share buybacks by actual companies. That a lot of companies have been trying to take advantage or waiting for a nice pullback to actually rebuy some shares of themselves. And what yesterday or in the past 2 days pullback has done is given them that opportunity. If we see that and we see really sustained buying going on every time we go down, it's actually a very bullish sign that this is not a larger correction. But guys, that's the big question right now. Is this a beginning of a very large correction, or is this just part of the process of us continuing higher? So let's take a look at some actual some names. I'm going to take a look at some names that had earnings, that reported earnings last night and this morning. The first one I want to take a look at is, we'll start with Pandora. Pandora, it's the online radio service. The chart is actually not coming up right now. I don't know why. But I can tell you that it's at a 52-week high at $19. So Pandora had earnings. I'm not sure why the charts aren't working, but I'm just going to continue going on and read off my list that I have for you. So we saw Pandora earnings, and that's trading higher. Sears reported, really getting smashed pre-market right now. I think it's down about $9 the last time I checked. The symbol is SHLD. Something that I'm just taking a look at, that I was just kind of beating around the bush with. I'm not telling you that it's set in stone, this trade, is that I'm also going to keep an eye on Whirlpool off of Sears. Whirlpool sells a lot of appliances in Sears, and I'm curious to see is if Sears is down, let's say 15%, is something going to happen in Whirlpool. So I'll take a look at that as well. Next up, we have Salesforce. That reported earnings. It's down about $3 pre-market. The symbol is CRM. It's a cloud. It's in the cloud sector, but it makes a lot of different kinds of software for people that own their own businesses. So it's about a $40 stock, $42 stock. So a nice price stock with some decent volume for us. So I'm going to take a look there. Gap reported GPS, but they pre-announced a couple of weeks ago what their earnings were. So I don't think that that's going to have much of a gyration today when it comes to price. I think it was pretty much priced in. Another one that's getting really hit today is Abercrombie & Fitch, ANF. That stock could have some serious action today. I know it's gapped down already. It's about a $50 stock. It's going to have plenty of volume. Another one I'm taking a look at is Procter & Gamble. That's a big boy, PG. It was announced that their CEO resigned, and they're getting a new CEO, and the stock is actually up about $1 or $2 off this news. So the market's taking that in a positive way. So keeping an eye on PG. Sector for you guys to keep an eye on are the solars. A lot of movement in the solar names we've seen over the past few days. One that me and my fellow traders on the trading floor have been taking a look at. So First Solar, which is FSLR, or JASO, JASO. Take also a look at SPWR. That whole sector has been really moving similarly, and they've had a lot of volatility, negative to positive, positive to negative. So a lot of movement there if that's something you're looking for. And finally, I'll just touch base. The stock of the week, I got to tell you, from a active trader's point of view, has been Tesla. It's actually been the stock for the past 2 or 3 weeks, but it's not done. There's still so much movement on there. This morning, it was, when I first got into the office, it was at almost $96. Right before I came in the studio here, it was at $94. It moves around a lot. There is a lot of volume. It is a good trading vehicle, but it's also not for the faint of heart. One of the things that I notice about Tesla on the open is that the spread, the difference between the bid and the offer, it's very wide. So you need to be careful, especially on the open, if you are trading Tesla. So again, get ready for a decent open from 9:30 to about 11. I think there's going to be some action. When it slows down, just be mindful of that. I don't think we're going to get a lot of volume and a lot of volatility into the close. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Be safe and have fun.